Welcome to the All About the Medicine podcast with Dr. Nola Knows. Today's podcast is going to be all about hypertension. Hypertension is defined as a blood pressure of greater than 130/80, and it affects a lot of Americans. And many of them do not even know that they have hypertension because they don't have symptoms until there's end organ damage. According to the CDC, in 2021, hypertension was the primary contributing cause to about 700,000 deaths in the United States. And about 1 in 4 adults have their hypertension under control. Another astonishing fact is that hypertension costs the United States about $131 billion a year. The prevalence of hypertension is also higher in the southeast region of the United States as well, probably due to our good cooking and use of salt and processed foods. In this episode, I'll also be interviewing a special guest on site to talk more about hypertension and the wonderful work that we're doing in the community. We're in New Orleans, Louisiana, and how the use of technology is going to dramatically improve how we manage individuals with hypertension in the community. Without any further ado, let's get introduced to our guest. Welcome, everyone. Today we have a special guest, and we're on location at his spot called The Lab, powered by Healthy Blue. We have the wonderful Kornelieus Bankston.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome. How am I gonna welcome myself to your place?
I know, right? Welcome to your place, Kornelieus. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm like, I gotta get him on because when we talk about medicine and we talk about health, it's everything, and it's not just about being in a clinic or being with a physician. We also rely on our allies and our partners to help deliver the best care, okay, to everyone.
I'm Kornelieus Bankston. I can't even talk. Thank you for coming. The Lab by TechPlug, powered by Healthy Blue. Founded TechPlug back in 2019. As it relates to my background, I'm an Atlanta native.
Oh, we ain't gonna hold that against him.
What about them dirty birds?
No.
What about them dirty birds?
Oh my God! How a dirty bird with no ring goes to the city of the world famous Super Bowl champs?
I'm just saying. So anyways, spent most of my career in Atlanta. I'm a Morehouse grad, studied chemistry at Morehouse. Went to Emory University, studied biomolecular chemistry there. I started school with this whole idea of like running a biotech or medical device company. And I thought at the time I needed a PhD to do it. And so that was part of my trajectory at Emory. But then I realized, you really don't need to do that. You need to get in the community, understand the business, understand what the need is from a patient experience. And so after that, I went on to Georgia Tech and got an MBA to kind of really understand how do you grow business from that business perspective. And so here we are. So I just want to give you your flowers while you're here in the space. You are an incredibly talented physician, community leader, very knowledgeable. I've seen you on stages like Essence this past year. Showed out.
Thank you. I tried.
She came through. Check out her reel. Came through. So as a Black woman, as a Black physician in this city, and as you continue to make impact in this region and around the world, I applaud you.
Thank you.
I applaud you for all that you're doing and the sacrifices you make in order to make impact in our community.
I appreciate it, but I can't do it by myself. It takes a team. It takes a village, okay? Because we're in New Orleans. We got to add a horse onto it, okay? So
I'm loving this. Come through. Yes.
The feng shui in here, the energy is great. So I'm always so interested when people that are not from New Orleans come to my city because after Katrina, I went to Los Angeles, spent some time at UCLA, and then I came back home because I was homesick. And I realized that, you know what? It's not everybody else that's different, it's us.
It's
like
a special place.
When I ask you, hey, how you doing? Good morning. I'm really, how are you doing, baby?
Yeah.
Like, that's just how we are. So I'm always so interested to see what draws people that don't grow up in New Orleans, that don't have any connection here, how they pick this little bitty city in the swamp to come and actually work and ingrain themselves in our community. Mr. Bankston, how did you pick this little crazy place?
You know what? I don't think I picked the place. I feel like New Orleans called me here, to be honest with you. It started back in 2017. Well, let me just preface this by saying I would come to New Orleans on work trips often. And I would only be in the French Quarter because the hotel would be there, then the conference would be there, and I would not get outside of the city. But in 2017, my cousin, Mion, gotta give her some props, Black Kid, we call her. We did this, we started doing this yearly cousin trip where we would come to New Orleans for Essence.
Oh, Essence. Come on, Essence.
Essence drew me here. And so it was like, okay, let's go to New Orleans for Essence and just have a good time. And so the first year we came, I think we stayed someplace in Uptown, had an amazing time at Essence. But one of the things that hit me was we went to I think a Family Dollar or a Dollar General, and we walked in and I saw that milk was being sold at that time like $3 or something. And I looked around the community and I was like, why is this the case here? And that really, it just put a seed in my head. And then we came back the next year, and then I realized that there was no change happening. Although we were coming here investing in Essence, but it didn't seem like there was any real change happening in the community as it relates to dollars being poured back in the community to transform lives. So now when you can walk in a Dollar General, you're not paying $3, you could go to a store that you could probably pay $1 or something to kind of probably meet your budget. So that was my moment. It's like, okay, I can continue to ask people to make a change in a place that I see that there's a tremendous need, or I can be the change that I need in a community. And so I didn't go to school in New Orleans. I don't have no family here. I never worked here. I had none of those things under my
family now. We family.
We family now. We family now. Yeah, we family now. But at that time we didn't. Right. And so when I started TechPlug in 2019, didn't have it on my radar right then to move to New Orleans. But in 2021, we did, and we came here to open up this space based on that information that we saw back in 2017 and 2018. And so we're here in the community. We ain't going nowhere.
Come on, please.
Y'all stuck with me.
We need y'all.
Stuck with me.
So thank you for choosing New Orleans and coming back here. Essence is such a big stage for us. I mean, I remember being younger, and we always used to go to the convention center, and it was a family type feel. Like they had stuff for us, they had entertainment, and I love that it's grown over the years. So although I'm from here, I went to medical school in Georgia. You know, so I worked at Emory as a bench chemist.
I see.
You know, so that's look at how God just makes the swishy swangy, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so I got to, you know, I went there with my Saint stuff on, so I got picked on a lot. I used to have brown paper bags on my desk when we would lose, but you know what I'm saying? And I was there for 328 when y'all lost. Never forget. But in any case, I digress.
That was traumatic. I went home and got in the bed.
I was excited, okay? So I spent time there, and then my residency training was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so I had gotten ingrained in there, and I'm used to New Orleans pre-Katrina, which is a totally different world. We had quadruple the amount of people here, and so it was really an interesting dynamic to go from, when you always go home, you go and visit the places you grew up in, but a lot of those places don't exist anymore. So my grandmother's house that her grandfather built is no longer. So when I came back, I'm expecting the trauma life and the ER type thing. I'm like, what are people at? Where they at? And surprisingly, when I got down here, I'm looking for, you go in the meeting with the doctors like, oh, I'm the only black one today.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm in the, maybe they're off today.
Yeah.
And so as I continued to work, I saw that, wow, New Orleans is very, very different. Welcoming of all cultures, but growing up, we had a lot of physicians that looked like us. So there's a certain type of camaraderie and sense of comfort when you have that shared ethnicity. And I just didn't see that. And so having gone other places where we're doing research, I've published papers, I've been at Sloan, I've been at Harvard, and to come back here and see that we're still building and it is 15 years later, that hurt me. And so as a hospitalist, I kind of dug a little deeper and I said, you know what's missing is primary care, and there's someone that can actually talk to you in your language.
Come on, see?
And it's so important because if you don't feel comfortable talking to your physician, then you're not going to get the help. And you'll take all these meds like, yeah, I'll take it.
I just said because I said
it's decoration on the counter, right? So look, it happens. And I'm like, now you know. Now you know. Right? So it's when I started my practice, I ended up meeting Jeanette.
Yes,
at the New Orleans SBA, and she made this connection and a lasting friendship. And I love everything that TechPlug stands for and does, because we have all of this technology out here. With all that technology, there's no reason. I know a lot of people right now are afraid that their jobs will be replaced by AI, but when it comes to medicine and health and in all industries, I think that you have to be willing to embrace moving with the times, and sometimes the laws catch up. But when it comes to us, specifically New Orleans and our people, You could have the greatest technology in the world. They want to talk to you. They want to see you. They don't really necessarily want to do a telehealth. They want to, hey, how you doing?
Hey, Dr. Washington.
How
your kids? How your mom and them? Like all
different.
Of that. We need that.
Exactly, but it's talking to them about the technology, talking in a language that they understand, and how this can help you.
Yeah.
And that really segues into our project, our research study that is coming up, that this hypertension study. So when it comes to technology, man, we have remote monitors that have a cell phone data plan to where you don't have to go and write down your blood pressure numbers. And, you know, as we get older, you know, we need them bifocals and trifocals, and then it's like you forget it. You know what I'm saying? Look, it happens. And so, but it really impacts the care. So we're doing a study that uses remote patient monitoring to actually look at your blood pressure. You just put it on, and guess what? I got your data. I know what it's been running. So it allows more efficient care. But actually, TechPlug introduced
the plug, i.e. the name TechPlug, and I think that's a great way to talk about the work here in New Orleans. You know, we see ourselves as a connector. You know, we're building the trust in the community. We're connecting with people like Dr. Washington. We're connecting with people in the neighborhood to really understand what are their challenges and what are their fears as it relates to going to their clinician. And then this great opportunity that we have with one of our portfolio companies, SensorMed, that has a remote patient monitoring platform around blood pressure, coupling with the services of a physician that is trusted in the community. And so one of the things that is usually a gap is like, okay, if you got to monitor your blood pressure, you're going to go home and do your reading every day? Because everybody don't brush their teeth every day.
I'm not calling my patients out who never bought me their blood pressure log. I ain't going to call you out, but I see you, okay?
We see you now. We see you. So with this technology, you can just, in the comfort of your home, you can actually, and then the results are directly to your EMR. You can see it. You don't have to hold anybody accountable saying you're lying or anything. You can actually see how people are trending when they're outside of your office or outside an office visit. And I believe that it's transformative, particularly in a city like New Orleans, which is 64% Black.
Absolutely.
That is 50th in healthcare. And as it relates to the economics of the city, probably like 47th or 48th, which means there's not a lot of job opportunity. And that's connected to health disparities. And when you think about those social determinants of health, it's really elevated here. And so being able to provide someone with a platform that can now manage their care, connected with their clinician, hopefully it transforms their lives so they can be a bit more proactive about their health care. But it also creates an avenue now that I can talk more be a more informed patient with my clinician about things that are happening with me. So that's why we're here. That's why we got engaged with you. One of the reasons we are engaged with you around our efforts here at the lab by TechPlug, powered by Healthy.
To say that, you know, we have a Super Bowl and everything, and you know what I'm saying? But to be 50th, you know, 50th or 47th, in healthcare, that it shouldn't be, because we are such good people. But I love my people too, and I want to see us make it into retirement age and actually live and enjoy it. A lot of people don't know this, but when it comes to hypertension, it's one of the leading causes of renal failure. And although we have dialysis, the average lifespan of a dialysis patient is about 10 years. It has a catastrophic effect on your body. So if I can help to prevent that, and for people to understand that, oh, my blood pressure is just a little high, it's not just. This is a serious health complication that can be changed by usually one pill a day.
How do you do, like, I got a question, this is just from my naivete. It's like, so if an individual gets on dialysis.
I love that. Come on. We done just changed this vocabulary.
Yeah, you know, so how do you, so if one gets on dialysis, there's no reversing dialysis?
It depends on what the cause is. So if it's an acute kidney injury, like from a medication, or say you had a problem with your thyroid where it's overactive, and I mean, you just had a spike in your blood pressure and hammered down your kidneys, sometimes that immediate insult, we can reverse that damage and it can heal itself. But when it comes to hypertension, it's silent. Right? Usually people do not know that their blood pressure is high because it's a gradual change, to where I've had patients, they come in and their blood pressure is literally 230 over 110. And I'm like, excuse me, let's call the ambulance, right? But they're like, I feel fine. It's like, no, you feel fine right now because over time, your body starts to adapt. Our body is really, really interesting, right? So that type of damage, imagine if it's been going on like that for years. You have beat your kidneys down into the ground, so where the chances of us reversing that damage, not so much. That's why hypertension is really one of my passions as well as diabetes, because usually kidney damage like that, it's not really reversible because you're just beating it up. Because if you immediately punch that kidney, it can restore itself, but no, chronic long time things, or you let it go, it's not. That's why your annual wellness exams are very, very important. Don't run from me.
Yeah.
Come on, I am here for you. No judgment, okay? I have to take your blood pressure. They have my youngest patient that I've ever had on dialysis or encounter was 25 years old.
Oh my.
From uncontrolled hypertension.
At that early age though, like at 25?
Diagnosed with hypertension in the teenage years, not overweight or anything like that, but family history, right? And then salt, y'all, salt and processed foods harden your vessels. Right, so
But it's hard though. Like if you're a New Orleanian, and I'm adopting some of the eating habits here because the food is so good, y'all.
It is too good.
I can't get rid of these 15 pounds, but
you can do it.
I'm trying to. I'm eating salads and eating grass if I have to. Like just.
Not grass. Not the grass. It doesn't sound appetizing. I don't think Chef Ramsay would be like, I got this grass.
I gotta get it off me.
Dressing.
But like, how do you do that? Like, so if you're in a culture that has such amazing food, the seasoning it makes the food experience so good, and your family congregates around food. That's part of the love language. How do you go from really good seasoned food to like no salt and no seasoning?
Look, now I would never tell nobody. No one will ever say don't have no salt, right? So my elderly people, they're like, man, they passed out. It's summertime. Why? Yeah, I don't eat no salt. No, we need salt because water follows salt. That's how we keep our fluids in our vessels. So even a person with hypertension, we recommend a Mediterranean or DASH diet. So that's 2 grams of salt a day or 2,000 milligrams of salt. But getting your salt, I don't add salt, like just pure salt to my food. I don't do that. I do more garlic salt, or I like red beans and rice. We love our pickle meat. Pickle meat.
What's pickle meat?
Pickle meat is, it's in salt.
You rubbed your knees, is that good?
It's in salt. It is in salt. And what you got to do is
pickle meat. What is pickle meat?
Look, I'm a cook with you. You didn't eat it. You just didn't know it was called pickle meat. Okay.
Really? Is it like canned meat?
No. It's like from the pig. It's
like
it's those little chunks of meat with the little bone in it. I'm gonna have to show it to you and we put it in the red beans and rice. But what we do is you have to boil it to get the salt off of it. Okay? And use a little bit of that water and put it in there, but don't add any extra salt with it. So you can try to season your food with more natural things like your ground pepper or your.
It don't have that same taste. So like everybody's like, I get what you're saying, but it don't have the same.
I'm gonna have to cook for. I promise you, it's better.
It's better, but it has the same.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Seasoning not with just regular salt, but actually using the different seasonings that bring it out. So like your basil, your rosemary, those aromatics, and really the salt, you can add a little bit of it and it's gonna bring out that flavor even more. I'm gonna measure, you know what? When I get back to my office, I'm gonna go take my scale and I'm gonna measure out 2 grams of salt. And then look, I'm gonna taste a little bit of it. It's disgusting. Look, you could spread it out, but you really wanna use more of the natural herbs and things like that in order to bring out the flavor, and that's what makes it taste good.
Dope.
But our problem is not necessarily the salt and the red beans and rice. A lot of people eat the processed stuff. So I have a weight loss program and I go through like what you eat. Like we break it down. This is a seed place. You ain't got a lot of meat, right? Because the lab's always
But how you do that though? Like I know this, like I don't want to be jumping all over the place, but this just leads into trusting your clinician. Especially if you have a monitoring device where you know what you've been eating. You've been eating them pig feet and that pickle meat. Because you can tell when they put their cuff on, it's going. But then they get some people because it's like, and the swelling of the ankle. But then how do you get to a place, and this is me as an individual, not as a tech person, get to a place where you can truly trust your clinician. And we talk about, at least you look like me, you understand my language and where I'm from culturally. Like, what else can we do to kind of bring down these walls of just, it's trust building?
Absolutely. So for me, and my approach is this, right? I'm a grown adult. If you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it, okay?
That part.
I am a consultant,
Yeah.
right? You're coming to me. I'm going to do my objective exam, right? And you
Okay.
found me either from a friend or you read my Google reviews or something, right? So it is a trust thing, and you have to talk about it. So I don't just hop into, oh, what's your past medical history? No, I want to know what you do for work. I want to know, do you like your job?
Because people feel judged,
them.
like, because they see you as the person that, you know, you went to medical school, you got all this history, and people don't want to feel judged, right?
I am not the Lord.
You're not the Lord?
I'm not the Lord. I do judge you when you miss your appointment, though, because it hurts my feelings.
That's it. Okay, that part.
But you have to be able to engage and see, is your doctor listening to you, right?
Yes.
So for me, it's a big trust thing for both of us.
Okay.
You can go and look up all my little plaques and stuff like that. That really doesn't matter. We're going to talk about your diagnosis. We're going to talk about if you're really taking the medication or not, and how does it make you feel? Does it cause you to feel dizzy? Does it, why? And then we're going to come to a solution, right? But it's building that. It's building that barrier to where I try to explain to you why you, like, what are the positives, what are the negatives, what are the risks, benefits, alternatives.
That's what we need.
Not to scare you, but you got to know what it is.
Because it's like, I think people get intimidated by you, all these incredibly smart people. You got all this schooling, and then you got all this insight about me, and now I got to come here and sit at your feet and tell me what I need to do, and I've been living in this body for 30, 40 plus years.
But not what you need to do. What I want to do is I want you to understand what your health conditions are and what your risks for these are based upon your family history and your vitals objectively. Okay. And I want us to talk about it, and I want us to come up with a game plan of what we're going to do. That's how I structure my visits, because if you don't understand why you're taking this pill and why it's important for you to take this pill every day, you're not going to take it.
You're not. I'm going to go back and eat that pickled meat.
Look, I'm gonna cook it for you, but you gotta boil all the salt off it. But there are healthy ways to enjoy the things that you like. You know what I find in doing a nutritional counseling?
What's that?
The processed food, nobody reads that nutrition label, and I hate the marketing term organic, okay? Wow. Just because it's organic does not mean that it doesn't have salt and preservatives in there. It wouldn't be able to last the 2 weeks to get on your shelf if it didn't have some type of preservative in there. So I'd rather you, if you can't afford—
wait a minute, let's pause. She gave you the eye. She said you. Okay.
Yes. It's expensive. No. Look, you can get the broccoli, the regular broccoli, and you can go and clean it yourself. It doesn't have to be organic. I care about you getting something that, you notice broccoli don't have a nutrition label on it? Because it's just broccoli.
But you know what? We were just talking about this earlier, about my grocery bill was stressing me out.
Me too.
Like real time, because I was like, yo, I've been to the grocery store. I went to the grocery store Sunday, I went Monday, and I went today, this morning, Wednesday. That's 3 days, and it's only Wednesday. And I've gone every day except Tuesday. And so I was having this conversation like, yo, I'm spending a lot of money going to the grocery store, but I'm trying to get more salads. I'm trying to eat fresher fruit, and it's expensive. But then I was talking to myself like, AK, well, go ahead and invest in this, because you could have some other illness that's going to cause you to,
absolutely,
10x of what you're spending in those 3 days. So go ahead and go get your spinach, go get a handful of, throw it in your mouth, chew on it. You ran me out. But anyways.
It can. I mean, I go to the grocery store and I get to the register and I'm like, I feel like the cash register lady just slapped me in the face. Like, I ain't even getting nothing. I feel like I ain't even do nothing. I got five items. I spent $150, ma'am. Excuse me?
Right.
No, it is expensive, but what I do is I shop smart, right?
Okay.
So my fresh produce, I try to get that from, your regular Robert's or Walmart.
What's Robert's? That's here in the city? That's what I've been going.
No, I can't afford that right now.
This is a bill.
It's okay. Look, you got a budget. So I go and I get my fresh produce from there weekly, but when it comes to my fish and different things like that and my proteins, I like to go to Costco or Sam's because it's cheaper, or I go to the West Wego Fish Market, and those are the fishermen that actually catch the fish, gut it,
it's like a farmer's market?
It is, but all the seafood. Oh my God.
Where is this?
So this is in West Wego. Oh, we got to take a fun ride. It's all the fishermen
in West Wego.
Yeah, and they got these little shops you could get. I bought a fresh redfish, fresh snapper.
Really?
Yes.
Y'all gonna make me start cooking like y'all, like I'm from New Orleans. Okay.
No, you should, but it makes you feel better. Your skin is gonna be clearer. You sleep better because it's what you put in your body. Just because it's organic, doesn't mean that it's any more healthy sometimes. Because organic is expensive, and for all of my people, I don't care what your income level is. Regular, just fresh produce, I'd rather you get that than the one that's the prepackaged meals because it has a lot of salt. Okay.
I've been doing that lately because let me tell you something, y'all about getting my business. So I've been doing that, like the factor meals, like I'll go, because I'm so tired at the end of the day, like I don't have time to cook. So I'll do like factor, but I'm watching the back, so I'm looking at, it's 540 calories for this meal. But you're saying that could be bad because of the sodium?
Because of the sodium in there, and also you're just looking at the calories. I'm actually going to go over that nutrition label with you. We're going to do a walkthrough.
Please do, because I need this information.
Because the way in which you read that nutrition label, it has to have some salt or some type of preservative in there for it to last. And if you go and you look at that nutrition label based and then compare it to if you just cook that with the fresh ingredients, your body can break it down way better than that processed.
That's why I can't get this weight off.
No, seriously, because your body, it encounters these preservatives and
I think I'm doing the right thing.
Nutrients, or I don't know what this is, store it in the fat.
That's why.
Throw it in the fat.
Okay, I'm good.
Just throw it in the fat. We'll use that later. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, okay. I love it. Okay, that's helpful for me.
Time. So this is my motto when it comes to time. We make time for the things that are important in our lives. When we buy luxury items, our cars, we go and we take it to the proper dealership for the oil changes, and we really keep that car up. And we need to have the same mindset when it comes to our bodies, because we only get one, as far as I know of. So take care of your body. I would like to thank Mr. Bankston for coming on my podcast and discussing this very important issue. And I want to reiterate to everyone, stress, sleep, how you take care of your mind, it really does reflect on your body. And hypertension is one of those disease states that is not given enough attention. It really impacts your whole body, your brain when it comes to having strokes, heart attacks, renal failure. It's all connected, guys. So I want to encourage you guys to get your annual exams. Also, watch the things that you put inside of your body, because that is your fuel. Just like you wouldn't go buy gas from the guy selling it on the corner. I don't even know if that's a thing. Don't do that to your body. That's equivalent to you eating processed foods or chips for the whole day and thinking that that's a meal or that's giving your body nutrients, because it's not. And you may not feel the effects today, but long term, down the line, you will. Thanks for listening to another episode of All About the Medicine with Dr. Nola Knows.